Here's how you do the stitching feature in AccuView Med. I would recommend starting from the study list, so after you have already done your study, what you're going to do, I'll just pull it up as if I had finished the study. After you have taken all your shots, instead of hitting finish, go up here to list and go back to the study. That'll ensure that you don't send anything that you don't want to. And then, for example, let's say we've done a L spine, a T spine, and a C spine. We're going to check all three of these. Now, if you don't want to stitch three of them, then you can still select all of them and uncheck the ones you don't want to stitch. So, in a practical application, let's say you have APs and laterals, you would check all these and then uncheck all the laterals so only the APs show up to start with, and then go to open image. So once we click this, it's going to open all of the images that we have selected down here. So if we hit the drop down menu, we have our lumbar spine, our T spine, and our C spine there. The important thing to do when you're stitching is to make sure that it's a full field. So you don't want to have any kind of image cropping where you've cropped out the spine. You want everything opened up all the way. So the best way to do that, if you've already cropped it out, is to hit the reset button, which is here. So you hit the reset button, and that's going to take you back to the original image. Then you can click on the 17 by 17 and hit save. That's a very important step. If you don't do that, it's going to throw the pixels off and you won't be able to stitch it accurately. So the next thing you're going to do is click on stitch, and it's going to launch the stitching program. Now, you can only stitch 2 images at a time, but you can ultimately stitch as many images as you want. So to make this make sense, what I'm going to do, let's start with the lumbar and the thoracic. So we don't want the cervical right yet. We're going to highlight the cervical and hit delete. That gets rid of it. So then now we have these 2 images, and what I like to do is kind of put them side by side, and then I'm going to use my mouse wheel and just scroll it down to magnify those images. So now I have 2 images here, and what I'm going to do is find reference points. So I can see that T12 is a common reference point on both of these. So I'm going to select this plus icon. I'll put a mark on spinous process at T12. Then I'll go select this image and put a mark on the spinous process at T12 here. When you grab these and drag them over each other, you simply line up the X's and you hit the stitch button. That creates one image that you can then just grab and drag with your right mouse button and window level. But now we want to do the other image. So now that this has become one image, we grab the cervical spine and drop it over here, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find a common point. So T1 would be a good common point here, so I'll put a mark on T1. I'll select that and put another mark on T1 here, and we're going to do the same thing. Line that up, hit stitch. Now that's created all 3 images stitched as one. So when I hit OK down here, that creates the image. After that, it takes you back to this screen, and you now have a fully stitched image. Now you can go back and crop this out however you want to, and hit save, and you have excuse me, you have your fully cropped image. What you'll do then is just go back to your list, and if you want to send all those to the cloud so you can do your measurements, you just have your check mark, hit send, and it's on the cloud. So that's a step-by-step instructional guide on how to do the stitching in AccuView Med.